What is up, everybody? It is Mike WBA here, back again with another episode of the WWE Draft Wars Save with Nathan.
Hiya!
We are back with Smackdown Live. It is the second one of the year. We are 2 weeks away from the 3 weeks away from the Royal Rumble, kind of. 3 shows away, but 2 weeks, technically.
Not far away.
There's 3 Smackdowns left.
You know it.
Yeah. We're going to get in. We're starting off with another little pre-show match on SmackDown. Oof, that's not great. As Heath Slater sustains a kidney laceration. But Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers defeat Titus O'Neil and Slater and Rhino in just over 8 minutes when Jinder pins Titus with the Kalass. Rhino got a 63, Slater got a 50 despite that injury. Titus O'Neil got a 49. Sunil Singh a 47, Samir Singh a 43, and Jinder a 65. And Sunil improving technicals. Decent little opener to get us started. Shame about that injury for Slater, though.
Not gonna lie, I can't remember the last time I did a pre-show bout.
I don't think you've done one yet.
Yeah.
Except maybe did we have one on the pay-per-view?
Probably before I had a B show.
Yeah, even if then. Interesting tidbit for you, because I used one of the Singhs in one squash match against Braun and then in a tag match against Gargano and the B team. One of the Singhs is an opener, the other one's a mid-carder.
Oh.
Which just shows how easy it is to get a push in this company. 2 losses and you're a mid-carder. Anyway, we get on to the main portion of the show. And we kick off with the B team. We're following them around backstage, having a chat, having a natter, talking about how great they are. When Curtis Axel just bumps into Hideo Itami. Itami's just there. He's putting some tape on his wrist. He's reading a magazine. And Curtis Axel bumps into the back of him. Itami turns around, very annoyed at this because it's rather rude. And challenges Axel to a match later on.
What a start of the show.
Yeah. Kicking it
Wait,
off.
he's reading a magazine?
Yeah.
How's he reading the magazine?
With his eyes.
But is he holding the magazine?
No, he's put it on a table.
Right, because I was going to say, how's he applying the tape?
Well, I mean, you can hold it in one hand and tape that hand with the other hand.
So is he looking at his hand and his wrist, or is he looking at the magazine?
I mean, you can tape your hands without looking at it.
But maybe you'll get distracted and maybe...
Next up, we have a little tag match. Because, shut up. As Sanity, Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane defeat 2 local guys, Edward Malkin and Matt Bentley, in 5.5 minutes when Killian Dane defeats Malkin with the Ulster Plantation. Not bad ratings, actually, from the 2 local guys there. Dane with a 54 and Wolf with a 50. I think he was related to Shawn Michaels or something. He's like his cousin or something.
I'll give it a Google.
No work improvements, unfortunately, but Sanity pick up another quick victory to sort of boost their profile in the tank division. Following that, we have Corbin and Elias also just hanging out backstage, having a chat. 2 friends, been getting sort of close recently. Corbin and Elias, of course, had that tag match on last week's pre-show. And Chad Gable appears, walking backstage. As he goes to walk past him, Corbin puts his hand out, starts to take the mick out of Chad Gable. Taking the mick that he keeps losing to Nakamura, keeps getting kicked in the balls. How he just can't win. Elias starts to play a little song, but Gable snatches the guitar off him, throws it on the floor, and challenges him to a tag match. Corbin says, "Why would anybody tag with you?" And Gable says he has some friends around, and we'll see who that friend is later on in the show. But first up, we have that match for Curtis Axel and Hideo Itami, and in 8.5 minutes, Itami picks up the win with the go to sleep. Itami getting an impressive 71 there. Pretty happy with that. Curtis Axel getting a 50. which isn't too bad, and Hideo improving in his performance skills. So a very good showing for Hideo Itami, as that little match gets a 66 C+. After that, we have Lashley and Rush in the ring. Lashley doing some poses like he tends to do. Rush grabs a mic. He says the New Day don't deserve their spot in the Royal Rumble. They're losers. They lost to the Bar, and that's how they got the spots in the Rumble. They got rewarded for losing. Lashley and Rush should be in that Rumble, and they challenge them for their spots in the Rumble. And the New Day come out. They accept. They take the mick out of Lashley and of Lio Rush, and the tag match is created. That'll be later on in the show. It's meant to be later on in the show. Rush comes out in his like shitty little suit thing that he wears. He wasn't in his gear. He's got to go backstage, get changed.
Shitty little suit.
Yeah, we don't force people to wrestle when they're not in their gear. After that, we have Penta versus Sin Cara, and Penta picks up the win in 10 minutes with a submission with the armbar. Penta and Sin Cara actually have some good chemistry, which is nice to see. Although Sin Cara was really off his game, only getting a 50, but Penta getting himself a 62, continuing his unbeaten streak since joining the company, going on a little warpath. And also improving his technical skills and his performance skills.
That's a lovely picture of Penta.
It is a very good picture of Penta. I still like this picture of Sin Cara.
Penta Kabashi.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video because of the quality that we record at, but it's a very high def picture of Sin Cara that's very compressed. After that, we have a Charlotte promo in the ring about Becky Lynch. Says that anything that Becky can do, Charlotte can do better and with flair. However, she is then interrupted by Sonya Deville.
That's not Becky.
No, Sonya comes out. She says she's sick of the same old people on Smackdown just dominating the women's time on the show. It's either Charlotte or Becky or Asuka taking all the time up on the show, and she thinks that some of the other girls should get an opportunity, and she challenges Charlotte to a match right there on the spot, and Charlotte accepts. Charlotte, however, is in her gear, so that match is next.
Ooh.
And in 8.5 minutes, Charlotte Flair defeats Sonya Deville by pinfall with the natural selection. Even though I really dislike that move.
It's a bit shit.
It's really meh.
There's no force behind it.
No, it's really not. But yeah, Charlotte wins 8.5 minutes. Charlotte with a very impressive 79 in-ring performance. Sonya with an impressive 54, to be fair. No work improvements, unfortunately. It would have been nice to see Sonya get a couple. But a 69 C+, a very good women's match for a Smackdown.
Yeah.
Should have said for TV, but you know what I mean.
Nah, for SmackDown. The women's matches on Raw are brilliant.
Yeah. Next up, we have an announcement by the commentators that next week we will get Johnny Gargano, one of the tag team champions, versus Cesaro, one of the former champions and the #1 contenders. And they will be going one-on-one with both of their partners banned from ringside. Cassius Ohno and Sheamus will not be able to interfere, or there will be punishments by the management.
What are those punishments?
We don't disclose that information. You'll find out if anything were to happen.
But what are the wrestlers meant to fear?
Maybe Sheamus gets his hair cut off and it gets glued to Cesaro's head. But you'll find out next week if anything happens. Following that, we have that tag match that was arranged earlier, as Chad Gable chooses Aleister Black as his partner, and Gable and Aleister Black beat Corbin and Elias in 9.5 minutes, when Aleister Black defeats Baron Corbin with the Black Mass. Very interesting ratings here, as both Elias and Corbin both get 52s, and Black and Gable both get 70s.
That's weird that Aleister being Chad's partner. didn't help Chad Gable's hints at a face turn, as the crowd remember just becoming a heel. I guess no man is ever truly good, but no man is ever truly evil.
But some men do improve in their performance skills, which is always nice to see.
So he did do the things that the other men couldn't.
Next match.
They never could.
Next up, we have the teach-off, The Miz and Daniel Bryan. And The Miz comes out, introduces his student. That's a good word. Introduces his student, the man who he is going to train to be the next world champion. It is Kurt Hawkins.
What the fuck did this get an 88B+? It has Kurt Hawkins and Space Monkey.
Because Kurt Hawkins and Space Monkey aren't rated. And then The Miz calls out Daniel Bryan and says who could he possibly have that could beat a Miz-trained Kurt Hawkins. So Daniel Bryan, he does come out and introduces his student from the wastes of Canada, Space Monkey. I mean, well, but it's like he's from Canada via
but he
space.
now resides in space.
He's from space via Canada.
Yeah.
He lives in Canada. He's got a nice chateau somewhere in Ontario. Don't know where. Bryan talked to some of his old mates from the indie days. Got him in touch with Space Monkey.
Ontario once.
Daniel Bryan improving his acting, which is cool. 88B+ promo.
See? It's not just Kurt Hawkins that the Miz has been teaching. He's also teaching Daniel Bryan how to act.
Yeah, it's all the Miz. All the Miz and how he makes Daniel Bryan better. And that's his point. That's his point.
And I guess between those four men, I guess no man is ever truly equal.
Shut up. Next up, we have Kurt Hawkins with the Miz versus Space Monkey with Daniel Bryan. And this rating could be very interesting.
It's not going to be a B+.
You know what? Not that bad. 44D, a Space Monkey. The Daniel Bryan trained Space Monkey beats Kurt Hawkins in 5 minutes and 18 seconds by pinfall following a botched interference by The Miz. The Miz, he thought Kurt Hawkins had it handled. He knew he had it handled, but he wanted to make sure. So he tried to get a sneaky punch in on Space Monkey, but he missed and he hit Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins was staggered by the mighty blow from The Miz. And Space Monkey took advantage, manages to pin him, and Space Monkey picks up the win over Kurt Hawkins. And good work by Miz and Bryan at ringside, even though unfortunately Space Monkey and Bryan have zero chemistry. But that's fine, because they won't be together every week.
With all that chaos happening at the end of the match, you could say that this match was bananas. BANANAS.
It's funny you should mention that, because next up, The Miz is so angry at the fact that they lost, tries to attack Space Monkey after that match, but Bryan is aware to the danger and saves Space Monkey by hitting Miz with a running knee. And after that, Daniel Bryan and Space Monkey, they celebrate in the ring by eating some bananas, because it's good for the environment.
The show is bananas, BANANAS.
Yeah, Maurice decided to turn up for this one. Miz and Maurice have some pretty good chemistry. Space Monkey getting better at his gimmick, which I probably should have checked beforehand. I'm assuming Space Monkey isn't a gimmick in the game. Miz came out of it looking excellent. Hawkins looked lost. Daniel Bryan looked good.
Space Monkey has a very good picture.
Yeah, and this segment did have Kurt Hawkins and Space Monkey rated, and that's why he got a 57 C-.
Oh.
Probably should have done it the other way around.
Sure, it's bananas, BANANAS.
Anyway, after that, we have that tag team match between Lashley and Rush and the New Day to see who keeps those Rumble spots. And it is the New Day when Woods beats Leo Rush with the Shining Wizard. Unfortunately, Big E sustains a torn tricep, so not a good day
Not his
for
tricep
injuries.
means.
Hopefully, he'll be okay. I'm not sure how long that will put him out for. We'll have to see afterwards.
If it's torn, it's a torn muscle.
Yeah, so he'll probably be out. He might be out for the Rumble, and we'll have to find a replacement for
He's
Big
got to
E.
be out for the Rumble.
If only there was another member of the New Day that could take his place in the Rumble. But Lio Rush was 48, Bobby Lashley was 60, Big E was 78, and Woods was 74, so some not bad ratings there. Rush off his game, unfortunately. Big E improving his flying skills, that's probably how he tore his triceps.
Oh.
Went for the big frog splash and got a bit too excited.
Maybe the New Day's member will be called Dave, and we'll have the new Dave. Dave Mastiff, or Dave Meltzer.
Well, just ruin you ruin everything.
Oh.
Anyway, after that, we have the build-up to the main event, which, if you remember from last week's episode, is of course, the second match in the AJ Styles Braun Strowman Beat the Clock challenge. And it will be Braun Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura. But before the match, AJ, who is going to be on guest commentary, has a little confrontation with Shinsuke Nakamura backstage. Basically tells him that he better not lose to Braun before AJ, or like in a shorter time than AJ beat Samoa Joe. I think it was Samoa Joe, right? It was Samoa Joe.
Yes,
we're saying it was Samoa Joe.
Great chemistry and a great match.
Yeah. And Styles walks off and sits in the commentary position.
Oh.
We have special guest commentary for the main event.
The Flat Earth main event.
Which gets a 76B- when Braun Strowman beats Shinsuke Nakamura. That's his new name. Defeats Shinsuke Nakamura in 13.5 minutes, where Nakamura intentionally gets himself disqualified by kicking Braun Strowman in his big dangly balls.
How do you know the big balls?
Nakamura told me afterwards.
Ah, right.
Strowman getting a 72, Nakamura getting an 82. Styles wasn't the best on the commentary table, but that's to be expected. He has got the charisma of a plank of wood.
He's very charismatic.
Not on the mic, he's not. Not in
Yes,
WWE.
he is.
Not in WWE. He's not. Hasn't had a good promo since he fucking joined the company.
Mad.
76B-, and Braun Strowman wins the Beat the Clock challenge thanks to Nakamura getting himself disqualified. So Braun Strowman gets to pick the stipulation for their Rumble match, and we will see what that is next week.
New York City parking lot brawl.
Not in New York City.
Chicago, Illinois parking lot brawl.
Phoenix, Arizona parking lot brawl. And whoo! Is that the first 100 A-star rating of the series, or have you had one?
I've had multiple at this point.
Have you had multiple? I think you've had one. I don't think you've had multiple.
I think I've genuinely had multiple. With John Cena and Brock Lesnar kicking about.
I think you had one with Lesnar and Rollins. And Heyman, maybe. I don't think you've had multiple.
I'll have a check.
But after the match and the fallout of that disqualification, Styles slides into the ring, shoves Nakamura for costing him the Beat the Clock challenge. Nakamura responds by kicking him in the dick, because it's Nakamura. That's what he does. Styles rolling around. Nakamura starts shouting at him in some very angry Japanese, but he doesn't realise behind him Braun Strowman gets back in the ring, hits Nakamura with the running power slam, and stands tall to end Tuesday Night Smackdown. I nearly did it. But we end the show with a 77B, which could be as well as expected, considering we basically had 3 squash matches and Space Monkey versus Kurt Hawkins.
Big matches.
That's not even the worst show we've had.
Big match Mike.
As the show increases our popularity in 18 regions, which is always
I had
nice
a
to
100 on episode 10.
see. Fair enough.
John Cena dressed his title reign. Does anyone remember that John Cena was champion? Because he didn't hold it for very long.
No, neither did Dolph Ziggler.
Poor Dolph.
We see here, let's have a look at the injuries of Heath Slater and Big E. We'll just also see what Daniel Bryan says. Bo Dallas has charisma. Does he now? Daniel Bryan thinks his recent booking has been poor, despite beating up The Miz just and having the winning wrestler in the challenge, and him being on a winning streak. No, he's not. Never mind. Ignore that. start on a winning streak. But Big E and Heath Slater both injured. We'll have to see how that went down. Big E out for 51 days, but he can do surgery, and Heath Slater out for 24 days. We'll let you know in the next episode if we do the surgery, but that is all for this one. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye!